the mysterious room and the double mirror. In 2013, a couple returning from vacation decided to stop at a roadside motel in Tennessee, looking for rest after hours of driving. The place was modest, the lobby dimly lit, and the receptionist, who barely looked at them, gave them a room key with a distant, empty stare. Once in their room, an immediate unease washed over them. The air was stale, a sickly sweet scent clinging to the walls. Exhausted, they were reluctant to request another room. As they unpacked, they realized the room absorbed all noise, creating an eerie silence that felt thick and unnatural. That night, as they tried to sleep, noises began. At first, it sounded like distant vibrations, but gradually it grew into whispers, indistinct, fragmented voices coming from the walls. The murmurs intensified near the bathroom's large mirror, which covered an entire wall, eerily reflecting the room in stark detail. The couple was disturbed to notice something even stranger. The mirror felt icy to the touch, and it seemed as though shadows flitted behind it, barely perceptible, like faint figures trapped just out of sight. Driven by fear and curiosity, the man decided to investigate. He carefully removed the mirror and was shocked to find a hidden space behind it. A camera, pointed directly at the bed, was wired to a system that led to a concealed recording room. Terrified, they left and called the police. Later, authorities uncovered multiple rooms in the motel, rigged similarly, along with tapes of other guests who had stayed there, many of whom had disappeared. The motel was shut down, but local residents claim that on certain nights, shadows can still be seen in the windows and whispers heard in the rooms, as if the souls of the missing remain forever trapped within. The invisible presence. On one of Chicago's loneliest nights, a businesswoman, exhausted from a week of meetings, decided to rest in a historic hotel built in the 1800s. The hotel's architecture was captivating, but the lobby was shrouded in shadows, and the dimly lit hallways radiated an aura of desolation and melancholy. When she entered her room, she noticed a faint floral scent, both sweet and sour, that quickly dissipated. The night felt thick with an inexplicable atmosphere, and the silence seemed unusually intense. Around 3 a.m., she awoke abruptly. Her eyes opened, but her body felt paralyzed, as though some unseen force held her against the mattress. The sensation was suffocating, and as she struggled, she felt an icy weight on her chest, as if an invisible presence was pinning her down. With tremendous effort, she reached for the bedside lamp, and as the light filled the room, she caught a glimpse in the mirror. A pale figure with tangled hair, staring back at her with hollow, soulless eyes. She blinked, and the figure vanished. But the floral scent intensified, now sickeningly overwhelming, as if it had permeated every corner of the room. She reported the incident to the front desk, and the staff revealed that years ago, a woman had been brutally murdered in that very room. She had been strangled on the bed, wearing that same perfume. Since then, guests staying alone had reported feeling her suffocating presence, as though she were forced to relive her tragic fate repeatedly, terrifying anyone who dared to sleep in her bed. The Unreachable Room in 1999. A night manager at a bustling Las Vegas hotel received repeated reports that a specific room was inaccessible. Guests and staff alike had heard strange sounds from within, scratches and faint moans, but no one had the key, and the room had no registered guest. After multiple failed attempts to open the door, the manager ordered it broken down. As soon as it opened, an overwhelming stench flooded the hallway. Inside, handprints of smeared blood covered the walls and sheets, as if someone had fought desperately for their life. The bed was overturned, furniture was smashed, and in the center of the room, a message scrawled in what appeared to be blood said, "No one will hear me." The police were called, and after investigating, they discovered a woman had vanished in that room weeks before, leaving only those horrific signs of a struggle. but neither the hotel's cameras nor its records had captured her entering or leaving the room, as if she had been imprisoned by some unseen, incomprehensible force. Since then, the room was permanently sealed, yet visitors report hearing muffled screams and cries for help echoing through the hallway, a chilling reminder that she never found peace. The sound of children crying. On a sweltering summer night, a couple checked into one of New Orleans' historic hotels, renowned for its old-world charm and chilling past. They chose a room on the top floor, seeking privacy and quiet. However, as the night deepened, strange sounds filled the air. At first, they heard faint laughter, which soon turned to cries and whimpers, as though children were in distress. The sounds were so real that they seemed to come from every corner, impossible to ignore. The couple called the front desk, only to be told that no children were staying on their floor. The next morning, they asked about the sounds, and the receptionist hesitantly revealed the hotel's dark history. Decades earlier, the building had been an orphanage that tragically burned down, claiming the lives of many children. Since then, guests have reported the feeling of being watched, feeling invisible hands clutching their blankets, as if frightened children sought comfort from beyond the grave. The experience was so real and disturbing for the couple that they left sooner than planned, but the echoes of laughter and cries haunted their memories, as if those children, trapped in a timeless horror, were seeking a solace that would never come: the forgotten passenger's ghost. In the 1980s, at a small, forgotten motel in Florida, a man was jolted awake in the middle of the night by violent knocking at his door. When he opened it, he found a pale, sunken-eyed man dressed in old-fashioned clothes who asked if the bus to New Orleans had already passed. The man tried to explain there was no bus stop nearby, but the stranger seemed oblivious, insisting on his question. Unsure of what to do, the guest closed the door, but the stranger's haunted face lingered in his mind, haunting his sleep. The next morning, he described the man to the motel manager, who told him an old tale of a passenger who had been struck by a car on the road outside while waiting for a bus that never came. The man's description matched perfectly. The same clothes, the same hollow expression. Since the 1940s, guests had reported seeing the same spectral figure, eternally lost, searching for the bus that would take him away